Good morning, beautiful men, women, and children of YouTube. Thank you for joining us at the homestead. I am Homestead Dad, Jeff. Today, my wife doesn't have to work, so I think she's going to take Homestead Boy 1 to swim, which means that I can work on that right there and hopefully get it ready for the calf. Like, we've got probably about another month before the calf comes, but as you guys know, we're kind of busy, so I'm going to take advantage of every time I can get and hopefully get everything but the straw done on that. I want to get the gate hung, the tarp up, the pallets in there, the pallet or the stall mat in there as well, so that all I have to do is buy some straw and bed it down and we're good. As you can tell from all the ruckus from the ducks and the chickens, I have not fed them yet. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'll see you guys in a minute. Well, I bought this gate right here probably, I think it was last year when it was on sale at Tractor Supply, knowing that I was going to need several 12-foot gates. Most of my gate entrances, I just measure out to 12 foot because the gates aren't that expensive. You can buy the tube gates from Tractor Supply for, I don't know, 50 bucks when they're on sale. But the other thing I try to do is on Craigslist, I'll just keep an eye out for farm gates. And if somebody's getting rid of farm gates, I'll buy them, even if I don't have a use for them right now, because eventually I will have a use for them. And that's one thing I think you can do on the homestead is try to anticipate your needs. So like if you think you're going to be doing pigs at some point and you see somebody getting rid of a whole bunch of pig stuff for cheap because they're moving or whatever, if you have the funds and don't have to go into debt to do it, grab the stuff. That's like the dog crates over here that I've mentioned several times. If you see somebody giving away a dog crate, jump on it, because those things are pure gold for moving animals, whether they be small, lambs or pigs or chickens or turkeys. You can use those for a ton of things. So I'm gonna move this gate over there. Okay, first up, let's go pick a couple decent pallets to go put in the milking parlor / nursery. You can see we've got a few stacks of pallets. I just need two good ones. I want ones that don't have like broken boards or screws or nails, popping out, just so that I'm going to put the stall mat over top of it anyway, but it'll just be easier if I do it, like that. So I'm going to find a couple of these, pull them out, and then I'll grab the tractor and we'll come over here and move them over there. So I just brought the pallets over, and as I was driving over, I was thinking, that looks like a pretty good platform. So maybe instead of bringing out the ladder and having to figure out how to get the ladder steady on the wood chips, I may just use that, raise it up a little bit, and be able to use that to screw down the tarp. So I'm gonna go grab the tarp, see if I can find some decent screws and washers, and we'll see if we can get that installed pretty quickly. Okay, so the 12-foot gate fits in the 12-foot opening, which is good. The only thing with this gate is, let me show you. So the top hinge part is adjustable. I can loosen this bolt and I can move this up and down. I can move it around. The bottom one right here is welded on. So I can't adjust that in or out, which is okay. Let me show you. So on the gate over here, both of them are adjustable. And there's pluses and minuses to both of those. So like you can see, this one, there's a bolt up here. There's a bolt down there. With that, I could, if it was that gate over here, I could slide these both around. So I could take this gate and put this hinge on this side. So I could drill straight in here. I could have the hinge right where my thumb is. I don't know if this is showing up on camera. Right here where my thumb is. And it would just sit straight out from the post here. But because that one is not adjustable, the hinge is going to have to be on the end instead of the face of the gate, if that makes sense. So what I'll probably have to do is I'll probably have to drill into this post on a slight angle because the opening is pretty tight. But it'll work. I'll make it work. So the other good thing is, with all the wood chips in here, I'm not going to need to use that as a, I'm not gonna need to bring out the ladder. I think it's probably about 6 inches or more higher than it was last year when I put the banner or the tarp up. So I think this should work. I'm gonna go ahead and get those pallets in here, and then I'm gonna grab a drill and mount this gate. So I get my lower height first, and to do that I just lifted up the gate, held it where I want the first hinge to go, and made a mark, and that mark is right about here. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a hole kind of like that, so I go through the middle of the post, but so that this ends up right about here, because I need the whole width. I can't have it being over here or the gate won't fit. It's got to be right about here. So here's to hoping my angles work. You guys can see there's not a whole lot of space here to spin this around, which is why I needed to get my angle as, you know, as severe as I could with still being able to turn it. I found the best way to turn these in is to use a an open end wrench like this. You can get it started by hand, but then once it gets in there a little bit and it gets really torquey, it's hard to spin. This is how it works. You push it like that, and you come up here and turn it even more by pushing against it like this. But when I get to here, I run out of leverage. So this is normally not a problem when I'm just doing a farm gate, but here I'm having to grab a wrench and just turn it a quarter of the way to get it so I can use this wrench to turn it. So I use the pliers, not a wrench, pliers, and then the wrench. So based on where that hinge is, like I was saying, I really wanted this over here, like right up against the wall. But I really can't do that very easily. I was thinking about screwing through here. That's a thought. Problem is the hinge would come out so far on the other side, it would be a mess. And there's just not enough. I'm afraid it's not strong enough, is what I'm worried about with that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this in a couple more turns so that it's almost all the way through the post here. So it's almost coming out on the back side. And then I'm going to try to just see if I can tap it over and maybe bend it a little bit. I can buy more of these hinges at Tractor Supply for just a couple dollars, so I'm going to see if that works. I'm going to grab just a hand sledge and see if I can tap it over, because I only need like 1/2 inch. So that's what I'm going to try. The sledgehammer worked. I used that sledgehammer there and bent it over. And as you can see, we got plenty of clearance there. So I'm going to go grab a level to put on this so I can make sure that the gate is somewhat level. Funny thing about that was when I bent the hinge over, I was thinking to myself, watch, now it's going to be too close. I'm not going to be able to slide the gate on. And I went to go slide on the gate and it wouldn't work. But it was because this hinge right here was hitting this. And this is movable, which is why I put that where it was, because I knew I could slide it down and still be good. So I'm going to go grab a level and get this hung. Well, I had to bend the top hinge over further than I'd hoped to, but it seems like it's going to be fine. The reason I had to do it was because I had to pull the top over in order to level out the gate. So the gate actually now is a little bit high on this side, but I'm okay with that because, one, it may sag over time, and then two, it makes it easier to open the gate. So I put a chain on here. I'll show you how I'm going to just close it. I've just got a chain with a snap link here. See if I can undo it with one hand. It's just a snap ring. I'll be right back. Okay, I actually changed the chain setup. I clipped the chain onto the gate here like that. so that all I have to do is wrap it around, put it through here. It catches like that, and I can just with one hand maybe push that off, and then it's free. So the reason I'm okay with it being high over here is because then I've got more clearance on the ground. So I'm gonna have to move some of these wood chips right here by my feet because they're too high, but that's fine because I'm gonna throw them in there once I move the stall mat. So it's gonna work well. I probably am not going to leave the gate here right now because I want all the animals to be able to get in here, get out of the cold, stuff like that. By the time Prudence calves, I'm hoping that I will have no more sheep and no more bullseye. So it'll be just her. So keeping her locked in here will not be a problem. So yeah, and if I were planning on leaving this gate up, I would have put this hinge right here. You guys see how the hinge sits on top? What you can do is you can reverse that pin so the pin points downward and kind of locks into it. So like with the pigs, pigs are notorious for lifting up gates. Cows not so much, but she could do it if she wanted to. But I don't have to worry about that. But if you had a pig, you'd want that pin down so a pig couldn't just lift the gate up off the hinge and knock it over. Like I said, not worried about it with Prudence. So I'm gonna get to moving the pallets in here, moving the stall mat, and then moving some more wood chips. It's actually a beautiful day out. It's probably almost 50 degrees. There's a little bit of a breeze, but I actually had to take off my Carhartt jacket and I'm just wearing a sweatshirt because it was that nice out. Before I take the gate down, I just wanted to show you. So you can see there's plenty of room. I can fit my fingers in between the gate and this post. So there'll be plenty of room along here for me to fasten the tarp. So it'll get fastened up top. And then last year, it only had grommets on the top and then a pocket along the bottom. So I put a conduit in the bottom just to kind of weight it down. Well, Prudence pushes right through it. So I tried putting cinder blocks and rocks along the bottom of it. She just lifted up over. So this year, I had my dad take it back. I had an Amish gentleman make it for me. I think, at least it was in the Amish country. I'm not sure if it was an Amish gentleman. My dad dealt with the gentleman. He put grommets on the side. So now I'll be able to screw it all the way on the side here. And then I think he put some grommets on the bottom. So what I'm hoping to be able to do is bring a cinder block in here and tie the bottom to the cinder block so that even if she pushes it, she can't like lift it out and move. So it'll be fixed on the top and on the side, and then hopefully enough on the bottom that it won't blow anywhere. And then I'll push wood chips right up to it. And yeah, and then especially with the gate here, when she's in here right after she calves, she won't have anywhere to push it to anyway. So that will work well. So the pallets are down. Now I've got to get this stall mat out of the mud, put it on top of here, and then put wood chips over here. So the stall mat is in place. I turned it sideways like this because this pallet has an OSB top that is really good. If I turned it the other way, it wouldn't have covered all the slats, and I'm just worried that Prudence or a calf would step through and hurt their foot. This way, all of the holes are covered. I can put straw over all of this. It's gonna be great. This spot where all the worms are, kind of stinky. So the wood chips are done, nice and high. Now I've got to go hang grab the tarp. Got some screws and washers to hang it with, and then I've got to buy some straw, but that can wait. So for today, the last step is going to be to hang that tarp. You can see I already took the gate down and set it back over there. So it's easy to grab and hang on here when I need it. For the meantime, that's a nice dry area. I'll grab some straw to make it even warmer when it's getting close to time. And maybe even add some more wood chips to it depending on how these settle. But for now, let's hang that tarp. One really quick, a few screws, screwed it up on the top and on the side. I can't remember exactly how much I paid for this. It was something silly like $45. It's a very heavy duty tarp. It's made custom. It came with the grommets on top, the pocket on bottom, and then I asked him to put grommets on the side, and he did it without any costs. So, and I think he did it while my dad waited. So Can't beat that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go grab a conduit to put in the bottom here. And then I'm going to, I think I'm just going to grab some baling twine and one of these cinder blocks and tie it to that bottom grommet on the corner there to keep that side down. And I think we should be good. I'll put that on the inside. And like I told you, there's plenty of room now for the gate. You can see the gate will hang here. It'll go right across. Should be pretty slick. And then in here, oh yeah, it's going to be nice and cozy. Nice and cozy indeed. So, and if all else fails, I screw a heater up there, point it down here, or a heat lamp or something, and you know, if it's super cold. But otherwise, this should keep the wind off, and once we get straw in here, it should be pretty warm in here. I could sleep in here. I don't want to, but I could. Okay, so I've got a piece of conduit cut to the right length. It's just going to thread right through here. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this with one hand, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. I'm on fire again. And I'll show you what it looks like. Now, I will probably scrape away some of the wood chips over at the bottom there so that it can come down straight. And then I'm just going to grab the cinder block, and I grabbed some baling twine that I had left over from one of the round bales. I'm going to tie it on there to hold this corner right here down, and we should be good. So I just took the baling twine and folded it over on itself so it's got 4 strands like that, and then tied it to that grommet. So it should be good. I'm really on fire. And then I'm going to just set this other cinder block right there. I'm going to cut the tail ends off. If you guys haven't already purchased a Mora knife, you should. They're inexpensive. They've got a nice, you know, sheath that has that nice click, that satisfying click when you put it in its sheath. And they're just good quality knives. They come really, really sharp. So if you need a knife, get a Mora knife. Seriously, you can get some for $10. Even the expensive ones are only like $30. But I'll put a link in the description below if you need just, you know, like a truck knife. Just something for, you know, or a tractor knife, something when you're out doing chores and you need a knife that you don't care if it gets lost or it gets broken. For $10, this is a high quality knife, but you don't go home and cry if you lose it. So you can clip it on your belt. It comes with that, you know, sheath. It's pretty sweet. So we're done. Prudence could still try to push through. Last year I had the tarp on this side, so the opening was over there. And she would, even when I had stuff tied down, like the cinder blocks and stuff, or if I put rocks in front of it, she would just push her way through, like, so I could see, I'd come around for milking, and her head would just be peeking around this wall here. With a cinder block tied on to a grommet, and another cinder block on the other side, this is the only side she can push on and get any, you know, movement out of. That side, it's, you know, it's screwed down, so it can't go anywhere. I suppose she could rip the tarp, but hopefully she doesn't. We'll see. This is all I can do right now. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to take the forks off and put the bucket on the tractor. I'd really rather wait until it's about to snow because I like the forks and they're easier to get in and out, but I may just reorganize the barn now and put the bucket on. We'll see. I'm going to run in and grab some lunch. There was a pile of dirt that was right there that is now down there in the garden. I just wanted a flat spot up by the driveway. I had it delivered earlier this year to use for the raised garden beds, and it worked great, but I don't need it there anymore, so now I've got a place to push snow.